Welcome to the Torah podcast, where we explore the ethical and moral teachings embedded in our weekly parsha. I'm your host, and today we will be examining a fascinating mitzvah from Parshas Emor that teaches us profound lessons about sensitivity, compassion, and our relationship with the natural world. Today's insights are based on Rabbi David Portowicz and his illuminating work, Lessons from Targum Onkelos. The Torah tells us in this week's parsha, V'shor oseh oso ve'ez beno lo tishchatu b'yom echad. And either a cow or a ewe, you should not kill it and its young both in one day. This seemingly simple commandment contains layers of deep wisdom and ethical instruction. Let's unpack it together. First, let's clarify exactly what this mitzvah prohibits. Both Rashi and Onkelos explain that the Torah is specifically discussing a female animal and her offspring, not a male and his offspring. The Ramban elaborates and says that according to both of these great commentators, the prohibition only concerns the mother-child relationship, not the father-child relationship. Then the Ramban raises an insightful question. Why doesn't the Torah explicitly mention the gender of the animal in this case, as it often does elsewhere? He beautifully resolves this by noting the context. Just before this commandment, the Torah discusses when an ox or lamb gives birth, stating that the baby should stay with its mother for 7 days. It then continues with our mitzvah not to slaughter both on the same day. Given this sequence, it's clear the Torah is referring to the mother animal. The Netziv provides fascinating context for when this mitzvah was particularly relevant. On Yom Tovim, we read from Parshas Hamoadim, which discusses the holidays. These readings begin with laws about sacrifices because festivals were times when people brought both obligatory and optional karbanos. During these times, extra care had to be taken with these laws because the volume of sacrifice increased, raising the likelihood of mistakes. In fact, the Mishnah teaches us that there are 4 times a year when a seller must inform a buyer if they had sold the mother or offspring to be slaughtered that same day, all to prevent violating this mitzvah. That brings us to a basic question. Why is it that Hashem commands this? The Ramban and Sefer HaChinuch provide 2 meaningful reasons. First, Hashem wants us to be mindful of preserving each species. When someone slaughters a mother and child on the same day, it is symbolically threatening the continuation of that species, like cutting down both a tree trunk and its branches simultaneously. This mitzvah helps ensure the species continues to exist. Secondly, and perhaps more significantly, this commandment instills mercy in our hearts and distances us from cruelty. The Ramban adds that acting with mercy cultivates good midos, while acting with cruelty makes us insensitive and hard-hearted. The Ramban further comments in Devarim, Perek Chaf Beis, Pasuk Vav and Zayin, that animals experience a great distress seeing their offspring taken to be slaughtered. The Torah forbids both mother and child, whether the killing of the mother first or the child first, because both scenarios causes suffering. If Hashem is so concerned with the feelings of animals, how much more so should we be sensitive to the feelings of other human beings? This mitzvah teaches us to cultivate compassion in all of our relationships. In our fast-paced world, it is easy to become desensitized to the suffering of others. This ancient commandment reminds us that sensitivity is not a weakness. It is a transformative divine attribute that we are called to emulate. Let's reflect on how we all can increase our sensitivity to others this week. Perhaps we can be more attentive to the needs of a family member, more patient with colleagues, or more understanding toward strangers we encounter. As we close today's episode, let's remember that these mitzvos aren't just ancient rules, they are timeless, thought-provoking principles for refining our character and bringing more compassion into our world. Until next time, this is the Torah podcast, wishing you a week filled with growth, kindness, and sensitivity to all of Hashem's creations. Have a good Shabbos.